Howdy, YouTubers. Alright, so per request of a viewer, I'm going to go through and talk about all my little homemade connectors and connections that I got. There is probably much better ways of doing this with bigger plugs, Anderson plugs. There are probably the best plugs ever, and that's why Zero uses them. And that's what these are. These are both Anderson plugs. Now this is called the Power Pack Module Charge Adapter. This is on Zero's website. Power Pack Module Charge Adapter. It is $140. I got lucky enough when I got my bike, they didn't have the single battery plug to run just one battery for either off-road riding or trail riding or off-road racing, so you can charge one while you race, flip them around, and then charge the other one while you're racing. So I told them I really wanted that piece or I wouldn't get the bike because I needed it. Well, when they handed it to me, that was plugged into this side and they gave me this whole unit. So I got really lucky in getting the off-board charger connector since it's $140. So I was saving up, and I still never saved up enough money to get the stupid Zero off-board charger because I found the YZ Power chargers. Talked about this the other day. YZ Power 116 volt 7 amp batteries, which is exactly what Zero has their charger set at as well. Now, the only one that YZ Power offers that's available on 116 volts is the 7 amp. If you see the 10s, 15s, 20 amp batteries, I looked at their stuff and it is all for e-bike lower voltage stuff. The only one that's compatible with the Zero is 7 amps is the maximum you are going to get, but it's only $93 right now. So see, YZ Power on eBay, really good people. There is the charger, 116 volts, 7 amp, lead acid battery charger, $93. And they have a lot of stuff on there, but that's the best ones. Now I did notice this one comes with an Anderson plug. You might message them and see if you can get just the Anderson plugs. Would be better than my little Dean's plugs connections. I'm in the light, sorry. My little Dean's plugs connectors. So I'm a hobbyist with RC cars, and I do the little Dean's. Are pretty easy to mess with. And if you only got, gosh, the RC cars with the big ones, 150 amps, 100 amp, little, I mean, it's only, the biggest one I got 36 volts running through them, but they don't get too hot. They don't ever get hot or melt or anything like that. These are the E5 connectors that I got on a 5th scale. I like these too. These are in my KZ400. So I made a little adapter with the Dean's connector as well, female, for charging that up. And right now I only have one battery with the blue EC5 on it, but I made the connector to have two. Just like when I made my first, my connector, it's a male connector going into two females. And what I put on the end of the charger was a boy. Now it really doesn't matter how you do this, just as long as you do all of them the same. Like you could put a female on the end of the charger and go one female to two boys, or the way I did it is one boy to to females, and it's always going to be reds to reds, reds with reds, blacks with blacks. That is your parallel Y connection. Okay, so that's what I did yesterday. Is I made a 3 girls into 1 boy, so I could plug 3 chargers in, and then this guy. Yes, in theory, safety for the BMS, for the battery, blah blah blah, CAN bus communication charger. The onboard does that. Obviously, if you guys saw the video yesterday, the onboard's not working. As soon as I plug this in, it's communicating. It's sending constant current, constant voltage, and the system sees that, and it showed it on the app how many amps it was charging. Now, Zero has an unofficial website. Well, it's actually not even Zero. It's where's that at? Gosh darn it. Hate this thing. Okay, here it is. This is called zeromanual.com, but it is unofficial Zero service manual, and it covers a lot. And if there's anything you ever need to know about your bike, self-configuration, what cells are in your bike, when, it's all in there. It's absolutely amazing. So they're pretty cool. But so initially, the the off-board charger and the onboard charger CAN bus communicate with the battery BMS system. Basically, all it does is it tells the breakers to close and the BMS that it's charging. So my onboard charger still does that, so that I can connect into the charge port. Offboard, now if you just wanted to charge with offboard, this would have communicated with the Zero $600 charger would communicate with the BMS system. You turn a key on, closes the breakers, you plug this in, and then it communicates with the bike. After a certain amount of time, you can turn the key off, and it still communicates with the bike and keeps the contactors closed and continues charging. My system does not do that. I've tried it. You turn the key on, breakers closed, you plug this in, boom, it's charging up just fine. You see all that on the app. Turn the key off, and a couple minutes later, it does close the breakers and stops the charging, because it's not getting the 12-volt signal to the breakers to keep them closed. So the onboard is kind of critical, at least to communicate with CAN bus, so it keeps the contactors closed. Even if it's not charging, then these will still charge. So when I first tried this, when I first got the charger, I went ahead and just did a alligator clip connection to this end. I've since then taken these out because I use this little plastic piece in my Kawasaki bike just to be a dust cover, but I took those out. But you can see the CAN bus plugs right there, and I just clip them so they don't do anything. And then on the end of that, I put my Dean's female plug on. Okay, but I did keep, oh, sorry, just a second here, guys. Figures put it together, I can't get all go the wrong way. Sorry about that. I did keep the main fuse on there, just in case it's there. Might as well use it, right? To make my little adapter. And there it is. So, one female, two boy, and then three boys. Or just do one charger, one female to put the boy on the charger, and you're done. Plug it right in. Actually, I can do that right here. See? But yeah, so that'd be straight one charger to the charge point. Two chargers to the charge point. When you do parallel, it's always reds to reds to one red, blacks to black to one black. Okay, or however many you put in. Okay, so I looked at the unofficial manual today and looked up the battery specifications. 1C charge rate. My batteries in my bike are 27 amp hours, so it can charge at 27 amps. It will take 1 hour from zero. Impossible. As you can see, with 7 times 3 equals 21, and I was right around an average of 18, 19, and 20 was tops. And as the battery voltage comes up, the constant current rate would go down. Same thing the zero battery does. When it's just about full charge, it's only charged to like 2 or 3 amps. Like I said, the most I've ever seen that get up to is 4 amps. I'd like to get more of these E5 connectors and probably do the whole system with those. This is just what I had, but I'm using, like I said, these are for the Kawasaki bike right now. Let me just show you real quick. This is dangerous. I don't recommend it unless you're very confident with working with batteries. But underneath this cover is a contact breaker and another circuit protector on this side. But the whole left bank is negative and the whole right bank is positive, where they do these little Allen bolts and bolt everything together, and then the bar goes across and they bolt everything on this side. So underneath this cover, I just tapped into the plus and the minus of the battery before the contact breaker. So this is solid hot all the time. When I put it in my bike, it tucks down nice and neat, and I run my 2 batteries. And then it still plugs in on this side and works through the CAN bus and to close the breakers, and then power comes out of the breaker side. That's all protective stuff with this. I don't need that kind of protection. The BMS still protects everything in here for amperage draw, current, and stuff like that. And the Zero manual is saying, you know, they have a 4C rating discharge rate. You can't do it any faster than an hour. If you're going 70 miles an hour, full blast, drawing the full power of the battery, it'll still take you an hour to drain this battery. And I don't think it's possible. I've never been able to do it. So, well, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. Right now, I don't have any projects other than this one showing you all this morning. So I hope we got it covered. Zero's unofficial manual. Zero's shop site. It's pretty cool. There's my battery. Almost $3,000. There's their chargers. $600 a piece. Now you can do their quick change Y adapters. Would be, but they're $250. Make your own. There's the power pack module charge adapter. Now, for you guys that are actually going to be doing some touring and trying to use these batteries, this the J1772 adapter, pretty cool. what you would do is cut that end off and put in a regular household plug outlet on that side. And what you do, then you plug into any level 2 charge station, plug it into there, and then plug it into there, and then on the other side, instead of having this part that would plug into your onboard charger, you would put a female household plug on the end of that, and then you could plug your chargers and your adapters into a 3-way that you would plug onto the end of that kind of thing. Because J7070s, they're going to be plenty of power to probably plug 2, maybe 3 chargers in. I don't know. I haven't got one yet. They are kind of expensive too, at $150. I did find some on eBay for $70 to $80 range. I still want to get one. Haven't done it yet, but I will. All right, so that's the tidbit of information that I can give you the best I can. My wife's unofficial manual. And YZ Power. All right. Thank y'all. Any questions, comments? Leave them on. Catch you on the flip side.